Hey guys, welcome back to Embraced by Life. I'm your host Lisa, and I'm sharing with you our early retirement journey for myself, my husband Frank, and our dog Buddy. So, yesterday I did a video on our non lucrative visa that we're looking to get to move to Spain, hopefully in November. We've got our appointment for the NLV visa at the Spain consulate in New York City this week. So we've been quite busy gearing up for that, but I wanted to do this update as it relates to selling our home in central New Jersey. So if you are looking to sell your home, if you're looking to move, perhaps to Spain, or just to sell your home in general, and you might live in central New Jersey, I'll share with you our experience. Every experience, I'm sure, is unique. So this is just our experience right now trying to sell our home. Now, we listed our house the end of June, beginning of July. In retrospect, we wish we had listed it sooner. The reason we waited is because our visa appointment isn't until this week. We had hoped to get an appointment in May or June, and we were hoping to be able to have our home sold by now and move in September, October. But we're looking at least at November at this point. Our visa appointments this week. So we listed our home the end of June, early July, and we're now at almost 60 days that we've had it listed. And it has been the most frustrating and taxing 60 days that we've had in a very, very long time. We've certainly had a lot of trials and tribulations throughout our life, but this has been a tough one. And yeah, that's where we're at. So the markets are changing, but I can't say for certain that it's all hit New Jersey yet. This is what I've seen and what our experience is. So when we listed our home, I think a lot of buyers were already in the game and they were already looking at places to move into in order to close by this time. They needed a good 60 days or so to close in order to move schools for their kids or whatever their reason was to be closed by before September 1st. So we were kind of coming in at the back end of that. There were some active buyers when we listed our home who had been outbidding other houses, and they weren't getting the bids. They were getting overbidded. So we had one buyer that came in right away and made a bid a little bit above asking. And we got excited because we listed our home at the best possible price that we wanted to get and what we felt it was worth looking at comps. Our real estate agent suggested that we list it for $20,000 less than we did. And they said if we listed it lower, we would probably get in on the bidding wars and we might be lucky and someone might actually offer us what we were looking to list it at. But we didn't want to take a gamble because if we were listing it that low, we were afraid we may have to drop it even lower. So we went ahead with what we wanted to do because we're the homeowners and because we just retired and because we need to secure as much as we can in our retirement, and we only get one shot at this house sale. So we listed it at the price we wanted. We did get the one offer for a little over our asking price, but then they backed out of the deal. They came and it may have had something to do with the fact that we have very large property, of which a lot of it's actually owned by the township, so we don't pay taxes on a lot of it, but it's very foresty and woodsy in the back. It's a township property that goes all along the back, and it's really beautiful. We love it, and to us it's an amazing property and beautiful landscaping, but I think they thought it might be a bit too much, to be honest. So they backed out of the deal as we were under contract review. So our home went up on the MLS as under contract. And because they backed out, we lost a whole week of showings. And then it came back on as open for showings. And then people started wondering, well, what's wrong with the place? Why didn't it go under contract? So, that becomes optics. It becomes difficult. And then we had another offer that came in that was way, way below asking. It was even way below what the agent wanted us to originally list the home at. So, and it just didn't feel right. There was very little deposit. It just wasn't a normal offer. So we declined it. And then we had quite a few more showings. We had some second showings last week, but we're still sitting here right now. It's vacation week, and we don't have any showings this week yet. We've got quite a few people viewing the home still on Zillow. And we've had over 40 showings, sometimes 6 people in a family at a time coming through. So it's been a lot. There's been just a lot of emotions around all this, a lot of panic as it relates to, are we going to be able to sell and actually make our move? We're not working. Every month that goes on, we have to pay taxes and money against the house, and it's a lot. So living here is not cheap. Our hope and dream is to move from here so we don't have the cost of living that we've got here in Central Jersey, and we can actually afford to retire. So this is a tough one. So we are deciding this week if we should drop our price or not. I have been monitoring other homes within the same community to see what's going on with them. So when I started this intel about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I noticed that a lot of properties that were at or actually above the asking price that we have, they were not dropping their price. And in fact, there were like 6 homes that I was comparing ours to, and 4 of them have actually gotten offers. And I'm sure some of those folks came here. There was one, in fact, that said this was her second choice. So now 4 of those houses are off the market. I will soon find out if they have paid the asking price or not. I have to wait for it to close to see. It just shows that it's pending sale right now. But I also looked today to see some of the closed sales, and these are homes that went into contract like a week or 2 after our home was listed, and they just closed this week. And some of them closed actually above asking. So in all honesty, I wonder if maybe we should have followed our real estate agent's advice, and maybe we would have gotten, some over offers, but you just can't guarantee anything. There were some that actually closed at a little bit below what they were asking. So at the end of the day, all we want is the right buyer, someone who's going to absolutely enjoy our home, who comes with the right energy, who loves the house as much as we do. And I'll be honest with you, I just haven't seen that coming in. I think people are really interested in the home. Everyone says it's so beautiful. We've been cleaning literally every day, making sure the place is in tip-top shape for someone to come in and fall in love with it. But I don't think it's the right fit just yet. And I equate it to looking for a job. It's got to be the right fit. And here the buyer needs to fall in love with the house. When you're looking for work, you need to fall in love with the place you're going to work at. You need to make sure the price point is where you want it to be. If you're looking for a job, you want to make sure the offer is exactly what you want and not lowball it and take something less, because you'll never get that back. And the agent is kind of like a headhunter. They want the deal closed. They're going to try to convince you to lower your price and take less. And you've got to look at the market. Do you hold out? Do you have the time to wait till it all comes together? So yeah, it's been a roller coaster. That's where we're at. Share some comments if you think that we're being crazy and we should just drop our price. But I have checked the other homes that haven't had offers yet and aren't contingent. There's a few left in our neighborhood, just a couple. Inventory's low, so they have not dropped their prices. So perhaps if we drop a little bit, maybe 10 grand, we might get some of those buyers looking at ours instead of theirs. And then there's some new homes, only 2 that have come on in the past 4 weeks, and they're actually asking a lot more than what we are asking, and a lot more than what I think they probably should. But it might be because they've seen the other homes close from bidding wars. So I don't know. This is the craziest time to sell a home, especially in New Jersey, where the market just isn't clear. Supply and demand, what's going to happen with the interest rates? We heard they may drop. Now today they're saying it would be crazy for them to drop the interest rates, because everything's going so well in terms of stock market and everything else. So I just don't know. We're just going to try to trust our heart and our gut, and not give the place away, but also not be too naive either, and not let it sit for too much longer. Because if we don't have a contract by the middle of September, beginning of October at the latest, we're not going to be able to go. We are going to be stuck, and then we got to figure out what we're doing next. Yeah, so this is tough. There's a lot to trying to pick up sell your home, retire early, and move to Spain. It's a lot. This is not smooth. I wish it were. And maybe if we were willing to give our house away, it would have been a lot faster, but it just doesn't feel right to do that when this is our, future that we're trying to secure. And every penny matters, especially with exchange rates and everything. It's going to be really tight, financially. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So, give us a shout, a thumbs up, whatever you can think of. Would love to hear your comments. We'll be making our decision this week. If we hang tight like the other folks and hold our position with our rate here, our asking price in our home, or if we show a little bit of intention to take a little less and drop it by 10 grand or something. But I'm afraid to go down to what the agent wanted us to start with, because in all honesty, if we're still sitting here in 90 days and our agency contract runs out, we may have to relist at that starting price that they suggested. So can't, once you go down, I don't think you can go back up. So that's, the story there. So we are not experts, again, in any of this. We are learning as we go. We probably have no idea of some tips and tricks that we're not thinking of. But if you've got some, please share. And yeah, I'd love to hear if you have recently sold your home in central New Jersey, how that went, and if you're still trying to sell your home, if you're running through the same problems and setbacks that we are. All right. But overall, we are in good health. We are staying positive. We've got our visa appointment this week. And so it's not all so bad. We are still trying to embrace life every day, even with all of this stress and headache and the wait, the patience. It's a true test of patience. So, all right, guys, see ya next time. Bye.